Hey guys, it's Generalkidd here. How's everyone doing today? So, for today's video, we are going to be tackling the question of who's firing the Wraith Mortars at you on the mission Tip of the Spear. So, the Wraith Mortars that we're talking about, you can see them being fired at you at this part of the mission on Tip of the Spear. This is shortly after the second rally point, where you have to go to the mining facility, and just like a zealot here that you have the option to take out, or you could just go right by him and skip him. But it is an option to take him out. But anyways, at this part of the mission, when you come around this corner here, and you get into the main section of this mining facility, you'll notice that Wraith Mortars start firing at you and start hitting parts of the facility. Sometimes they hit pretty close. I think if you stand still long enough, after a while, one of them might actually hit you. But I don't know, I've never really stuck around long enough for that to happen. But anyways, who's actually shooting those at you? Are there actually Wraiths all the way up on a mountain outside the map shooting at you? Or could it be something else that's shooting the Wraith Mortars at you? Well, let's find out. So let's get out of the map. So to get out there, I don't think pan cam would have really worked in this case. So I'm going to use a little mod to no-clip our way out of the map and basically float out our way out of the map and remove the barriers as well to be able to get out there in the first place. But, the purpose of this is to actually just see what's out there. But I'm not actually sure there's any other way to get outside the map, all the way out there at least. Not where we're looking at, but where the mortars are coming from. But anyways, so my original theories about what's firing the Wraith Mortars were that it might have been those a low detail, low resolution Wraith, like what you see out there in the distance fighting each other. Maybe it's a low resolution Wraith out there that's firing, or it could be a full Wraith that's firing, or it might actually be something like in Halo 2. You remember those videos I did several months ago about who's shooting certain plasma rifles down certain hallways or in the distance, and then we flew out there with a mod tool and we saw that it's actually just a floating plasma rifle shooting it briefly before disappearing. Well, that's what I thought we might see, but as it turns out, well, here we are. Out here is where the Wraith Mortars are coming from, and as you can see, there's pretty much nothing out here, and yet something is shooting the Wraith Mortars. So yeah, see, that's where it's coming from. So basically, what's going on out here is around this area, really far outside the map, there are a few invisible spawn points. I think there's about 3, maybe 4 invisible spawn points out here that will just randomly fire Wraith Mortars out and each spawn point isn't randomly. It's not consistent. Sometimes it'll be the one over here, and then other times it'll be the one near me, and I think just another behind me somewhere. But yeah, basically they alternate at random intervals when firing the Wraith Mortars. At least I think it's random. I haven't been able to notice any patterns. But yeah, so there's no invisible Wraith there or anything. There's no Wraith gun like in Halo 2 where it's a floating plasma rifle shooting it. No, none of that. It's literally just nothing invisible. It's just a spawn point in this case, and all it does is it just spawns a Wraith Mortar, and then I guess it spawns it with a certain velocity and a certain angle, and thus it seems like it's a Wraith firing it, but it's not. It's a very it's a much more elegant way, I guess, of firing things outside the map. Whereas in Halo 2, they spawn a whole plasma rifle and then have it fired and then despawn it. But in this case, they don't need to do that. I guess, in Halo Reach, Bungie figured out a way to make it even more efficient, and they don't need to spawn certain weapons to do the firing for them. They can now just use a spawn point to fire the weapons. And yes, these Wraith Mortars are very real. They're not just fake low detail ones. As you can see, I let that one hit me, and it does kill me. And because I was in no clip at the time, it makes me T-pose when I die for some reason. But anyway, so there you have it. That answers the question of who's firing the Wraith Mortars. And the answer is, well, technically nothing, but really it's invisible spawn points that are scripted to fire at a certain angle and velocity. So that is why they fire into the map that well. But yeah, so hopefully you guys did enjoy this video and found it to be interesting. And if you did, as always, make sure to leave a like. Leave your thoughts in the comments. If there's anything else you want me to check out or look into, just let me know there, and I'll do my best to get around to it when I can. But other than that, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.